Welcome to the Favorites, the podcast, part of the Action Network and proudly presented by bet365. We are, in fact, live on AMP for a second try. We are live on YouTube for a second try. NFL owners meetings starting this week. What better way to celebrate the NFL being in the news than talking about NFL betting in week one? Because lines are up at our partner, Bet365. I am joined, as I am for every episode, by my BFF, my companion, my compadre, professional bettor, Simon Hunter. Hello, Simon.
Hello, Chad. It feels so good. So good to finally be talking some week one lines.
Doesn't it?
It really does.
It was so exciting to see him, and I want to dig into it in a second. But remember, the podcast is proudly presented by Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook brand. Sign up with promo code ACTION to get Bet365's exclusive sign-up offer. Bet $1 on any game and get $200 in bonus bets. Must be 21 or older. Offer available in Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, and Virginia. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Also, as I do in every episode, you guys have heard us talk about Game Time. They're the fastest growing ticketing app in the United States. I love Game Time. Honestly, I use it all the time. And if you're looking to get out to a pro or college game this week or even a concert, Game Time has amazing last minute deals on tickets to all of these. I'm opening the Game Time app right now from my house here in Connecticut. By the way, I'm equidistant from New York and Boston. I would say let's open the app and see if we can get tickets for a Celtics game, but who knows if we'll get back to Boston. So instead, I'm looking at New York. It's a beautiful week in the city. The New York Yankees are streaking. You can get into a Yankees game, $17. By the way, Breanna Stewart, 45-point masterpiece in 3 quarters the other night. New York Liberty super team. You can get in Saturday, $33. Also, reminder, don't forget, Bet365 US Darts Championship coming up at MSG in a couple of weeks. You know you're going to want to get tickets for that. We love the darts, no matter where you live. Download the Game Time app. Get out and have some fun this week. You deserve it. And you can redeem code favorites for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, just download the app and enter code favorites for $20 off. So download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I'm not kidding about the darts, Simon.
I was about to cut you off, Chad. I was gonna tell people, if you've never experienced it, get out there. All you gotta do is find a crazy outfit, get ready to get blacked out drunk, and have a time of your life. It is a really, really good special experience. Dart. It's just very unique how you experience it.
It is fucking legit. It is legit as a sporting event. It is legit exciting. And you know, your favorite person, Michael Leboff, is the Action Network dart correspondent going back to our earliest days. This is how I knew Action Network would succeed one way or the other. It just was a matter of time. And why Action Network could potentially outperform other places. The level of the love for betting was so intense. I told the story last week about how when we first launched, someone started sticking their fingers in the Google sheet that controlled the WNBA models, and people were losing their mind. Same thing with darts. People were going crazy when we first launched in the office for darts, watching darts, betting on darts, analyzing darts. Leboff's going to go to MSG. He's going to cover darts. We'll probably have to have him come on and do a darts preview.
Speaking of MSG, did you see he retired today, Chad?
Carmelo Anthony retired.
What's your opinion on Carmelo Anthony?
I always thought he was like a George Gervin-esque player to me. Great scorer. I liked him more as he got older, and I liked him more as an Olympian that I did when he was on the Nuggets and definitely on the Knicks. Look, he's a wonderful player and a brilliant scorer. He didn't really ever get surrounded with the right talent in New York, and I think New York is an impossible place to play. So in the end, I was a fan, but I didn't love him a lot during his career.
Yeah, I just like Q's Melo. That was my Melo. That whole run with him in March Madness, that was so amazing. But my favorite Melo joke will always be if NBA was just a game of horse, Melo would be the greatest player ever. Other than
Yes.
that, there's not much to his game. So I think he's up there for most overrated players. Someone that has one of the most overrated players ever, Joel Embiid, on their team. Him and Melo are in that same class of all the talent in the world can't make it out of the second round. So that's my view on Melo. It's like, yeah, you can give him the benefit of the doubt, but like you didn't have guys around him. I mean, they were a 1 seed that one year. Remember that?
Yeah.
The Knicks
Yeah.
were a legit A1 seed, and they didn't do anything with it. So I didn't know Melo was still in the league. I thought he had already retired. So
I don't think he
pretty
was playing
impressive.
this year. I think he sat out the whole year, but he hadn't officially retired.
Wow. Because I was gonna say that's been what 20 years. I think he was drafted 03. So
19 years.
yeah, pretty impressive longevity of his career. But I think anyone that saw him play at Q's, you thought he was going to be the next coming. Like I really thought he was going to be huge in the NBA. It was all personality, not much there to the game.
Meanwhile, it's been amazing to watch the Celtics and the Heat.
Yeah,
Before we get into the NFL, I know we want to talk NFL, but this Celtics team breaking down and this Heat team owning them in such an embarrassing way. It's the epitome of a basketball team versus a collection of great basketball players. And we talked about this in the podcast last week. We had Matt Moore on and we had Maria Marino on, and we were talking about the Heat as a team. And Matt Moore very specifically said the difference with these teams is the biggest coaching difference there is. And that is a delta that can make up points in a point spread, but also in the game itself. And Spo has just been dominant. It's been a
legendary.
clinic.
Yeah,
Legendary.
Evan Abrams keeps putting out the stats. It's like Spo is like $1,000 ahead of the next closest coach as an underdog being bet on, like in the playoffs. He's just every year, again, every year they're just a team that's doubted. And like you just talked about, the coaching so important in basketball. There's a reason, you can say Phil Jackson had the best players. The man was clearly an incredible coach. He got the best out of every team he touched. And you can see the same about Steve Kerr. The championships Golden State had, they didn't get those right until Steve Kerr stepped in. So coaching, we always talk about, goes a long way in a lot of sports. It might be no bigger than the NBA.
It's been glorious to watch him. I think a Heat Nuggets finals is going to be some very intense, really high quality basketball. I'd probably bet the Heat to win because their defense is so good. And I think there's a little bit of a coaching advantage, not as much as the Celtics and the Heat, but they're going to be underdogs. And I think there's going to be huge value on the Heat. They're just not going to get the respect from the public that they should.
And it feels like the Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals Super Bowl, where no matter what, it would have been really cool for Joe Burrow since he got a ring, or Matthew Stafford and the Rams get a ring. Feels the same way here. Joker or Jimmy Butler, either of them, they're probably going to be Hall of Famers. Both of them deserve, right, to be in this kind of conversation of you can't give them the Charles Barkley treatment. Both of them got theirs. So if Jimmy gets his ring, if the Joker gets his ring, I'm just really happy. Like I love both those guys so much, especially for the NBA.
Isn't it funny the way I want both of those teams to win the finals because of those two
Yeah,
things? I want Jokic to get a ring. I want Jimmy Butler to get a ring. Jokic is in the Hall of Fame regardless. He's got the
right.
2 MVPs, his game, all around game. He's so dominant. Jimmy Butler last night. So we have friends staying with us for a few days. Huge NBA fan, the buddy who's staying with us in the sports business and sports media business. And me and him and my younger son were watching the game last night. And we said the question, Jimmy Butler, is he a Hall of Famer? And I've been on the fence. I think if he gets this team to the finals, he's there. My buddy pointed out Jimmy Butler's been all NBA 5 times in his career. And the threshold for getting into the NBA Hall of Fame is actually just lower than it is other Hall of Fames. So, or would it be Halls of Fame? It's interesting. But so I think Jimmy Butler gets in regardless.
Yeah.
I like him. Can I tell you one more gambling story?
We got to get to this football, Chad.
I got to tell you one thing. I'm sure Matt Mitchell is freaking out, like just talk about the football already. But I got to tell you one thing. He says it's halls of fame, like attorneys general. So I'm in this golf major pool. Okay.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it with a couple other guys at Action since Action started, like going back to 2018. I don't play golf. Golf is one of the sports I bet the least. So I know nothing about it. So every major, we will do a snake draft, and for just for the majors, we'll do a snake draft. I've won 4 of the past 6. I won Masters PGA last year. I won Masters PGA this year.
Now you betting these, or you're just doing this contest?
Just doing it in the contest.
Damn it, Chad.
I know. It's such a bummer because I'd have so much more money. But
Yeah.
I just like it that these guys, all they do is play golf, all they do is bet golf, and I am fucking crushing.
Well, people got to start following the Action writers, man. What the hell is this guy's name? I think his first name was Matt. One of our writers has been on an absolute heater picking
Matt
his golf
Vincenzi.
games. Yes, that's his last name. Say it again.
Fucking insane.
What's his name? Say it one more time.
Vincenzi.
He is money, people. So Action writer, hop on. You got to follow this kid. He's just been on an absolute tear picking these golf winners. To me, golf is really hard to pick, but guys can get in rhythms and they can get hot and they can stay hot for a year or two. So he's definitely these guys you want to ride his coattails right now.
All right. So on to the NFL, Simon.
Thank God.
Owners will not be voting to approve the sale for the Washington Commanders. But holy fuck, I just cannot wait for this guy to be out of the league.
Why?
I feel like
I'll just say from my perspective, I love it because I'm an Eagles fan.
Well, yeah,
They've
you're an
been
Eagles
a train
fan,
wreck.
so
Yeah, they've been an absolute train wreck the whole time he's on them. So
I
hope he never
though.
leaves. I hope this thing falls apart. They keep him there. I mean, holy shit, people. Go look at their last drafts. They took Chase Young over Justin Herbert and Tua. This is just the Washington football team is one of the worst organizations ever ran. Chase Young, if you didn't know, people didn't get re-signed to his 5th year extension. So again, they passed on Tua and Herbert to take Chase Young. They're just an awfully run organization in every way.
But even if they had drafted either of those guys, do you think they would have used them properly? No.
I do, dude. Their team is good. Like they legit have talent. Like Terry McLaurin is a really good receiver. They have good running backs. Their O-line is probably a little weak, but again, if you have a good quarterback, that negates that. Like they have the talent on offense, and their defense has had talent for these past couple of seasons. I mean, I know last year was a down year for them, but the year before, me and Chad talked about going into the season, they were a top 5, top 4 defense every metric. So to me, I'm with you. Like their front office is total shit. I think Ron Rivera and like a couple of that guys they've hired have been all right. So it's just interesting to see if this deal doesn't go through, what they're going to be like, Chad, because like you were about to talk about, they've just been horrible. He's arguably the worst owner ever. Maybe the Knicks owner, I don't know. They're both in a different level together, but some owners are just terrible, and he was one of them.
So the other news today that came out, this is what a slow news day it is that this is in the headline stack everywhere. Ben Roethlisberger on his own podcast admitting to Kenny Pickett that he didn't root for Kenny Pickett to succeed, which to me, it feels like Ben is
a narcissist.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think he's always been that way.
Yeah.
And I think he's gotten so much slack from the media over the years because he plays hurt and he's tough and, he had been around for so long and he had won Super Bowls and became the face of a franchise, but he's always seemed like a dick.
100%.
Except now he's trying to figure out, all right, maybe if I'm a dick on my own podcast, it'll make some news and get people to listen.
Well, I was gonna say my biggest thing I saw from this owners meeting was the Brock Purdy rule. Did you see they added that?
They added a 3rd emergency quarterback.
I think it's a big deal, honestly, because there's no excuse, truly. Like if a team takes out 3 quarterbacks in a game, that's got to be on the coach. That can't be saying, "Oh, that's unfair." If we had another quarterback, again, the 49ers blocked Reddick, our best pass rusher, with a tight end. That's why Brock Purdy's arm got snapped in half. You blocked arguably the best pass rusher in football with a tight end. What do you expect to happen?
I want to go to the week 1 lines, and I want to speak specifically. I got a couple games that I'm interested in. And I think we want to see if we can get some money line parlays going like we do.
You want to get them going here in May?
I want to get them going in May
You're
because
sick.
I want Bet365, our sponsors, to give a little bit of a boost to
Yeah.
these. So, and we had a nice little run with the underdog money line parlays during the season, the round robins.
It was a
We'll see.
nice start. It was a tough finish, but I would say last year was kind of a wonky year. Usually you get better luck later in the season on these money lines. So last year the dogs were good to us, right? We were winning on the spread. Just the outrights were tough the second half of the season.
I like looking at week one lines because you immediately get a sense of how the bookmakers think the public thinks about these teams. So,
And what do we always say, Chad? The public is very dumb.
very dumb. So,
So it's just
the first, I'm looking at
it's nice.
Bet365 before we came on the air. And the very first game that stuck out to me, you're going to hate me for this. You ready?
Yeah.
Indianapolis Colts, week 1, 3.5-point underdogs at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The only pushback on it is you have a rookie QB with a rookie head coach making both of their first starts in the NFL. So I would say if we had a Lovie Smith type, if I had a veteran head coach with a rookie quarterback, I might shift it a little. But the fact that it's the deadly combo of a rookie head coach and a rookie QB, which can be nice, right? Because no one knows what's coming. But it's also like, shit. So that's one of those where I might wait on that one. I can't see it dipping below 3.5. I think most pros are like me. They view the Jaguars as the powerhouse in that division. So I love where your head's at, Chad. Like to me, I'm all in on Anthony Richardson. I already talked about, I bet him for rookie of the year every week. I mean, this is the kind of year kind of part of the year where all you hear is positive stories, right? So all we're going to hear is all the smoke being blown up Anthony Richardson's ass.
Yeah.
But I love this kid. I told you, watching his pocket presence in college, he's smart. He has a smart football mind, and he's one of the most gifted athletes. So again, if their coaching staff, we get into spring, when they play a couple of preseason games, I can see this kid and see what he can do. My opinion might change, but as we sit here in May, I probably wouldn't touch this one just yet, just because it's a rookie QB and a rookie head coach.
That's when I think you do bet them because they're all sunshine and happy, and like they haven't been destroyed yet. So they don't know the full hammer of the NFL. They're in their first game. They still love each other. It's all optimism. They've been practicing against their own team. They've had some easy preseason games. This is when they might be their most confident. So the only reason I would wait is if I felt like this number was going to go up because everyone's going to pile in on the Jags.
But again, my only fear is you hear from different people, like half these guys have their first starts, head coach or a quarterback. They don't remember a single thing from the game because it was just so intense. You're just so overwhelmed. It's literally your whole life has led up to this moment kind of thing. So that's my fear. I'm putting the human aspect in it. But I make, like Chad's about to say, I make this line 3. The value right now is on the Colts. So I'm right there with Chad. I just couldn't bet it right now.
You've already got enough of a model done that you have value on this line?
Yeah, I got no life, Chad. I'm literally living here in Hawaii, bored out of my mind. I mean, as soon as the draft happened, I basically started to get to work on every team. Again, it's a lot of BS because of that. What you're talking about, like this is a new head coach. Do I really know what system the Colts are running here? No, but I will adjust once we get this. After spring ball is done, once we get to some preseason games, I can watch practice, read stuff from beat writers. But yeah, for right now, there's like the skeletons of the model. Because you know me, I'm making bets already. It's like as soon as they hang lines, I'm hitting every book that I can. So I'm on top of it right after the draft. I get on top of kind of modeling out the numbers for the week.
Well,
one.
look, I'm betting the Colts plus 3.5. You're not betting it yet, so
No.
we will have to break down the games that we have bet for week 1 so far. Because here's another one that I love. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger's nemesis, Kenny Pickett, as a 3-point underdog at home against the San Francisco 49ers. Are you fucking kidding me? That is irresponsible to have the Steelers as 3-point underdogs. This team, Mike Tomlin rah-rah spot. Matt Mitchell, cue it, play it, run it, give me the dogs. Mike Tomlin rah-rah spot. San Francisco, way overvalued. Kenny Pickett played really well. This defense is really good. They improved at every level. Like, of course we're taking the Steelers. And I guarantee you, Simon, the Steelers will be one half of our underdog money line parlay.
Lock.
Lock.
Lock. I
Done.
mean, again, this is why people gotta understand what me and Chad do here. We're gonna say shit that sounds crazy, but it makes sense. The public is so dumb. You guys don't know what you're looking at. If this was week 12 of last year, me and Chad would probably be all over the 49ers. This would be a great number. It's a new season. It's week 1. The whole momentum, the whole mojo of that team is gone. They've lost coaches. They have turnover in players. It's completely different, people. That's what, like, I'm going to try to beat into your heads here for week 1. That's the biggest thing you need to get here. This isn't week 13 of last year. This is a week 1 of an entirely new season. So this is too easy. It's way too easy. This line at best should be a pick. The 49ers don't know who the hell their quarterback is. So that's a big red flag right there. Their O-line is shit. Yes, they have one of the best tackles in football. The rest of their line is not good. The Eagles absolutely abuse them in the playoffs. Guess who has got one of the best D lines in all of football? Pittsburgh. Guess who's going to be healthy week 1 this upcoming season? TJ Watt. So it's just all there, Chad. +3, it's a gift. I was hoping we get 3.5, but you know, the public won't let it get there. The pros are too smart. They're going to keep beating this one down. So that's one of those numbers. I don't hate grabbing now just because it could be 2.5 by kickoff. You're on a key number of 3. Again, if you want to lock your money up for the next 2 months, grab it now. Me and Chad already told you we're going to be on the money line. This will be 1/2 for sure of our parlay.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say the Steelers are +135 on the money line. This will definitely be in the underdog money line parlay. Love everything you just said. I actually can't wait for this game. It's such a good spot for the Steelers. It's exactly the kind of game they kick off their season with. All right, are you ready for my other one? I feel like you're going to like this one. Arizona plus, what is it right now? I think it's
6.
plus 6.
Yeah.
Arizona +6 on the road at the just discussed Washington Commanders. I think the Commanders are a train wreck. I like it doesn't matter what we say about how good their offensive line is or how good their receivers are. Who's going to be their quarterback? And you say offseason is about smoke screens, right? So, dude, like I'm hearing so much out of Washington from these offensive linemen. We're seeing this guy make throws that we didn't know people could make, blah, 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 blah. It's because your fucking quarterbacks have been Carson Wentz and Taylor Heineke, not because he's the second coming of Joe Montana.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those matchups where we're getting probably 2 free points here, right? Just because Arizona is kind of the joke of the league right now. They have the lowest win total. I mean, we got Nuke Hopkins on podcast right now with Brandon Marshall talking about other QBs he wants to play with while he's still on the Cardinals.
Yeah.
It's totally bad vibes for this Cardinals team, but I think Chad just nailed it there. It's too many points. Like, who the hell is Washington to be getting this many points in week 1, especially in the sense that Kyler Murray's going to be healthy, right? Kyler Murray, this man, again, I would love to shit on him. We've seen it. Me and Chad got burned by it horribly last year. He was down, I think, what was it, 24-0 to the Raiders, and then went on this incredible run in the fourth quarter and brought his whole team back, just running around that offensive line and somehow making things work. Kyler has this incredible amount of talent, and that's the issue with like everything that's going on with Arizona right now. It's like, I want to fade them. I want to say they're going to tank for the season, but Kyler has so much talent that's going to steal a couple of games for them. It's just, that's how football is. We see it every year. So to me, Arizona +6, way too many points. I mean, Chad just nailed it. The money line here is +215. That's really high for this kind of matchup. This game should be closer to probably +150. It's just been bumped up because Arizona now is just completely a joke in this league. So you nailed it, Chad. Like, there's a couple games that jump right out. This is another one that's just, the public has made this line way too high. It should not be this high. It's just, again, I get the hope and the excitement for Washington. I already talked about it. They have really good weapons on that team. They just don't have a quarterback. Me and Chad are on the same page. Like, if I'm seeing all these guys talk about how incredible the quarterback is, I truly do not care. Like, this is like, that's cool. A guy can throw from his knees in practice when he's trying to get drafted. It's totally irrelevant for what me and Chad are looking for. for quarterbacks in the league once the season starts. So yeah, Sam Howell might have a great arm, might be an incredible talent, but not moving the needle for me with this Washington team.
Yeah, I forgot that I never actually said the Washington Commanders quarterback's name, but it's Sam Howell, who is in his second year out of North Carolina. Um, okay. I mean, look, I think it's aggressive to do a Cardinals Steelers money line parlay in week 1 that we're asking bet365 to boost for our users. I'm not totally uncomfortable with it, but I think there might be like other games where we might give our users more of a chance.
I got another big 6-point divisional dog for you, Chad.
You want to go? I got 2 more games, but if you want to go, you can go.
Rams +6 against the Seahawks. The Seahawks, Chad. What in the world? The Rams are +6. Unless Stafford's arm really fell off and Cooper Kupp's not going to be back, this is an insane line. This is truly an insane line. I get people are thinking the Rams are done. They're finished. Stafford's completely done. I haven't seen any of that anywhere. Right? Everything I've seen, he's hoping to be back for the start of the season. Same with Cooper Kupp. So to me, this is one of those I just threw a bet on it just in case the number does drop once he is back officially. This number should not be higher than 3. And this divisional matchup, the Seahawks, yes, incredible run last year, right? Geno Smith, comeback player of the year, getting them to the playoffs. All that was truly incredible. They apparently nailed the draft, right? Everyone loves their draft. They got the best cornerback. They arguably got the best wide receiver in the draft. That's great for them. Like that really could be one of those things that pushed them over the edge where they overtake this division from the 49ers. But in week 1, coming off such a successful season they had last year, everyone blowing smoke up their ass all summer long, and now they're going to play a divisional game that, the Rams, they're going to be pissed off and hungry. And I don't know if you know the history of the Rams and Seahawks, but they always play each other really tough, especially in these matchups. So +6, what in the world, Chad? So that's one of those I had to grab it. Money line +215, grab that as well. One of those games we can buy out, right? If Stafford is truly out, if Cooper Kupp is out come, September, again, we're 3 months out, people. We can easily buy out this position. For me, this is one of those I have to grab it now because if Stafford is good, this number's going to be running. The pros will not let this divisional line stay this high in week 1 in a matchup of a really, really good quarterback in Stafford and a one-hit wonder in Geno Smith. Like Geno Smith, yes, he had a career year. He got the bag, people. How many times we've seen players fall off after getting the bag? I mean, you just mentioned Carson Wentz. That dude was almost MVP. He's out of the league 5 years later after getting the bag. So that's what I mean. Your life can change really quick in the NFL. There's a reason their over-under for Seahawks is 8.5. The books, they know what they're doing to people. That they know that looks like a low win total. So the Seahawks hype is reaching peak form right now.
I got one word for you. If I may channel my inner Ben Affleck from Good Will Hunting and, bastardize this line. Regression. Yeah. We're talking about regression. We're going to see it all over the board in places that we think we will find opportunity. This is exactly one of those spots. Exactly. Love it. Rams +6.
And again, if they lose outright, me and Chad will be all over the Seahawks the next week because that's going to be an incredible bounce back spot. After the public gets burned and they're all pissed off, the following week, that's when we come back another side. So again, I'm telling people there's a rhythm to what we're doing here. It's not just throwing shit against the wall.
We got rhythm. Rams +215 on the money line. I want to throw one out to you.
Yeah.
You ready? So good. It's so gross. It's like we're already so disgusting. I can't believe we're doing this. The Tennessee Titans +3.5 at the New Orleans Saints. Work with me, okay? Number 1, Mike Vrabel is still Mike Vrabel, okay? One of the best coaches in the NFL. One of the best game planners in the NFL. I think he's a significantly better coach than Dennis Allen. That's number 1. Number 2, what we do know is that Ryan Tannehill is still there and very good chance he may be the quarterback in week 1. And we know he is capable and competent enough to go on the road and keep a game close. It is when this Tennessee Titans defense, which has historically been good, but injured last year, will be its healthiest. It's when Derrick Henry will be his healthiest, assuming he's still on the roster. I don't think the Saints are worthy of being more than a field goal favorite against anybody right now, to be honest.
And that's my issue is my model has this off by 3.5 points. So I think the books are telling you Tannehill won't be there, Chad. That's my view of this number right here. It's basically then banking on Tannehill not being the starting quarterback week 1 because
you say this is a pick?
I had to pick him with Tannehill. This is a pick 'em. So to me, the books aren't stupid. I think they know what they're doing here. They're viewing this as Tannehill won't be there come week 1. So I could be, eating my words now come September, but that's what this line means to me. And if it's still 3.5 week 1, Chad, and Tannehill is the starter and Derrick Henry is there, no brainer bet. Too easy, especially Derek Carr in a new city for the first time starting. That we talked about it last year. That was one of my favorite easiest bets of the whole season last year. Was week 1 we had Houston, who I know it sounds crazy to say it, but it was Davis Mills coming back playing on the same team, playing against Matt Ryan, who was on a new team in the Colts, and a completely weird out of body experience. He even talked about it. They're an 8-point favorite on the road, that Colts team. And, again, it went to overtime. No, we end up not winning that with Houston outright, but that 8 points was never in doubt. So it's kind of the same scenario here of, yeah, Derek Carr, bunch of new toys on a new team. Like everyone's excited about the Saints. If it's Tannehill, if it's Derrick Henry, no doubt, Chad. 3.5. We'll be on that one.
I feel like we're already in rhythm for our final 5. I feel like we could put it in right now. We could just put it in, lock it in.
Week 1's crazy too. I mean, we love dogs. I like a couple favorites this year, and there's obviously a couple dogs we haven't talked about I love. So it was definitely one of those when they hung the lines. It felt like last year where I think we had, was it 10 home dogs week 1? It was something historical. Yeah. I mean, you both are laughing. We were like, this is madness. There's a reason we went 5-0 last year, week 1. They just set these traps the public walk right into. And if you have a model, your experience better, you see them a mile away. And that's how I feel this year. There's just a lot of lines that really jumped out from when they hung it for week 1.
All right, so what else jumped out to you?
The biggest one's the Patriots number. The Patriots versus the Eagles. That's a home game for the Patriots on Monday Night Football. It's Tom Brady's ceremony. I get the Eagles love, right? I'm an Eagles fan. I think this offseason, they might have taken one step back from that team they were last year, right? They lost a couple key veterans. But the guys you believe they're going to step in, these new rookies, these second-year players, they have a ton of talent. So I get why the love of the Eagles. I know a couple of pros that came in really heavy on the Eagles at -3.5. I actually bet the other side. I was on the Patriots at plus 3.5. I was on the Patriots at +4. If you log in right now to bet365, it's up to +5.
+5.
Patriots team.
Plus 180 on the money line.
To me, I wouldn't touch the money line. I still think the Eagles will win this game, but it's just screaming the same exact vibes we had last year with Detroit. Detroit was a 3.5 dog at home. I think the line went up to 4.5 at close. It finished at exactly 3. They came all the way back. The game finished at 3. It feels like this way with this Eagles team for this week 1, where, I think the Eagles team's incredibly talented. They're going up against one of the best defensive minds in all of football. Like, I can see them wiggling out a win at the end of this game, but they're never going to be blowing out this Patriots team, just especially not at home in this situation with Belichick. It just does not happen. And I think they're correcting a lot of stuff where, Patricia's not going to run their offense next year. I think their offense will be better with Mac or whoever the quarterback is. Say it is Tannehill. Whoever steps into that quarterback position, I think will be better than it was last year for the Patriots. But defensively, I love the Patriots team. So this is one of those where you're giving me +5 now. I'm grabbing that. If you want to keep waiting, the public, you can, because this could hit 6. Because, again, it's a primetime game. Chad and I talk all the time. The public will chase, right? If they get slaughtered on Sunday, they will come in heavy on the Eagles, right? You already can see it. Eagles teasers, right? Eagles and Bills teasers together for the Monday Night Football. The books know what they're doing here. So to me, that's just one of those where, I was already going to be all over the Patriots. I might be a lone man taking their money line, but I'm begging other people to take the plus number. The Eagles do not play well up in New England historically. I think we had one win in the last 30 years or 20 years. That was with Chip Kelly. It was some really random game. We had like 2 punt returns, a bunch of crazy shit for us to win that game. That's not going to be like this. Like Belichick teams, last year was sloppy. They had sloppy, special teams was shit. Their defense was pretty shitty to start the year. They got better as the year went on. Their offense was just abysmal all season. I don't see it being that way for this Patriots team. I see them being not, winning their division, but I see them being an 8-9 team, 9-8 team compared to what they were last year. So this is a tone setter for their season. And we're getting 3 points, 2 points just because the Eagles went to Super Bowl last year, Chad. So no brainer on a Monday night game taking this dog here.
Steelers +3, Cardinals +6, Rams +6, Pats +5. Dude, we are back, baby. We are ugly. We are gross. We are taking bad teams from last year. It is fucking beautiful right now. All right.
It's too easy.
Can I give you a favorite that I like?
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear any homer bullshit. But come on. The Bears -2.5 against the Packers at home. If forget about all the hype and all the stuff we've said about the Bears. I'm getting a team at home as less than a field goal against a quarterback who has started a small handful of games. Like, of course, I'm going to take the Bears as short home favorites here.
Yeah, it was actually one of those that's first under I bet of the season. I took the under in this game. It was 44 or 45, I think. Now it went down to 44.5 or 44. It's just the same thing Chad just talked about. It's Love is unproven. I hate to say it, but Justin Fields is kind of unproven at this point, right? We've seen him as a runner. We just haven't seen him as a passer. I know. So to me, that's a lot of points for two offenses that are unproven where Green Bay's defense is really good. They should still be good next season. I think that Bears defense has improved, not so much that anyone's gonna be scared of them, but I think they're better than they were last year. I think like they addressed a lot of those issues at the linebacker position, and what Chad just talked about makes sense. The pros are in line with you, I tell you that much, right? This game opened at -1 for the Bears. It went up to -3. Now it's been sitting at -2.5. What is it? A week and a half now. So it just makes sense. It's a good number, right? It's the book saying we don't really believe in Jordan Love, like the general public doesn't, right? We saw him play in one game against the Chiefs. He looked lost, totally lost. LaFleur has earned nothing from me, right? The guy had an MVP. His two best seasons coaching, he had the MVP, right? So it's kind of one of those things where I don't really know what I'm getting from the head coach or the quarterback with Love. At least with the Bears, I kind of have a trust with their quarterback. I do think Fields is going to take a step this year. I mean, me and Chad, we're going to be beating it like a drum, but like we love the Bears, especially in this division. They have to win this game. Like this is one of those they have to set a tone. My only fear is, Chad, the public is going to be all over this one. So it's one of those where I'm hoping we're beating the public right. We're getting the 2.5, and by kickoff, it's -3 or -3.5. We're getting the best of the number. So to me, I'm with you on the Bears. It's a little spooky because, like, the general public is starting to kind of catch up to what you've been saying the last couple of months. People are starting to love the Bears heading into the season.
You know why? Because they're fucking listening to the podcast.
That's true.
Do you have another favorite that you're eyeing right now?
Yeah, and I know it's going to shock people because it's a big spread. The Vikings -6.5, Chad. I know it's a big spread against Tampa.
Yeah,
but I think this Tampa team is just bare boned. I mean, they're just left with nothing. You can say they still have the wide receivers, right? They still got Mike Evans, a good one on the outside, which should do well against this bad secondary of the Vikings. But this is going to be a shootout. And I just have zero faith the quarterback of the Bucs will be able to keep up with this Vikings offense. Like, as much as I love to shit on Kirk Cousins, this is when we bet Kirk, Chad. 1 p.m. home start.
Yeah.
This is when you want to back them. So the fact that it's still under 7, I like that number for this team. I just the Vikings, yes, I think they'll have a down year compared to last year. This is kind of a dream matchup for them. Their offense, the speed they have on the outside. I mean, Gibson, their new receiver they drafted, is fucking sick. He's really good. You're pairing him now with Jefferson, arguably the best receiver in football. It's gonna be too easy for Kirk. I mean, even if Dalvin Cook walks, that's no issue to them, right? They're just gonna fill another running back in that hole. So to me, the Vikings, yes, they'll have a down year. It's not going to be week 1. I like this number a lot for the Vikings to start the season.
By the way, the NFL, this just in from Adam Schefter, has decided to flex Thursday night games. This has been a breaking news. This has been a point of contention. They tried to do it in March, and Patrick Mahomes was really outspoken about it. And the owner of the Giants was really outspoken about it, saying it's not fair. It's not fair to fans who are buying tickets. It's not fair to fans who are flying and traveling for the game. this was a fait accompli, right? It's like when any big corporation decides, yeah, we're doing this, it's probably better for business. Who cares if, our employees get fucked and if a couple smaller circles of users get fucked? The large scale is this is better for corporate partners and this is better for overall fans. We're fucking doing it. So
Yeah.
this is not a surprise at all.
It just sucks 'cause we're in a really weird time period, right? The NFL is kind of being as big as scumbags as they could possibly be to their fans. And they're saying, well, to watch NFL, you need YouTube TV, you need Peacock, you need fucking Amazon, you need Fox, you need CBS, you need all these different platforms if you want to watch all of our different games. It's ridiculous, Chad. Like just going through all of it, it's ridiculous. I mean, again, as I'm a slave to it. Like I'm gonna have to buy that YouTube TV regardless because I want the NFL package. The fact that they had a whole thing where they couldn't show the end of that, what was it, Boston the Heat game, where the whole thing went out.
Yeah.
I couldn't even wrap my head around it. Like I literally couldn't. If that happened in football, that the loss, the damage that would do to the NFL brand is just absurd. So I feel like someone's going to catch up to them here because they're really selling out here. Like this is crazy that if the Eagles are one of the better teams in football, they're going to punish them by putting them on another Thursday night towards the end of the season, right? Playing against a divisional rival, like two hard hitting teams. I'm with them. I hate it because to me, maybe I'm the only one that enjoys it, but like I love that they would put the Jags and Titans on Thursday, right? No one's going to watch that game. Now it's a primetime game, and it's like it's fun. It's fun that these shitty games they put on Thursday, but like you just said, Amazon wants their money. So not shocking to hear the NFL selling out for more money.
The other bit of news just announced, Matt Mitchell putting it in the Slack channel. Green Bay, Wisconsin getting the 2025 NFL draft. I love the draft. I think the way they've taken it on the road, you saw in Kansas City, you saw in Nashville, we saw it in Chicago. It's awesome when it goes
Say
on the road.
Philadelphia, Chad. How could you leave Philly out?
Philly, it's like it is a great, great party. All right. I want to narrow it down to the money line parlay. We want to tell Bet365
Okay.
to boost. Did I miss any games? And by the way, if you hear little yelps, my dog is outside my door right now because she knows it's time to eat. And she's like, why are you not opening this door and going to give me some food? Did I miss any of your games that you would bet, specifically underdog, that we might want to include in this parlay?
I would say our fans know us well. I got a text from a pro who's listening to the show live on YouTube, and he said, how have you not said the Browns yet? Which is fair. Like that literally,
Yes.
I think that was one of the first games me and Chad text each other about when the lines opened. It's the Browns. Like
Browns
you
plus
know,
2.5 against the Bengals right now.
we have to do it. Like
Yeah.
that is the stinkiest, fishiest line. The public is going to be hammering Cincy in this spot. I hate it, but like Chad knows, this is one of those we're gonna hold our nose and we're just gonna take it. Like that's a good number. This number should be a pick, right? Like both these teams, they're not that different. Like the biggest difference last year was the quarterback position. If you go back and watch that Browns team, they were in so many of those games with Jacoby Brissett that they fell just a little short. Then when Watson came back, he looked like a deer in headlights. I just don't see him being the same way now in the second season in this offense. I think he'll be more comfortable, right? He'll have a normal preseason. He'll get the reps in. 2.5. I mean, the money has just been pouring in on the Bengals and has not budged. That number has not budged to 3. So one of the fishier lines, not shocking. A guy texted me during our show and was like, how the fuck have you not mentioned the Browns? So this is to you. We will mention the Browns. Me and Chad
All
both
right.
love it.
But then, Simon, what are we doing? Is our money line parlay that we're going to have Bet365 boost for fans going to be Steelers +3 at home against the Niners and the Browns +2.5 at home against the Bengals? We're going to go.
That is very AFC North heavy.
We're going to go with an AFC North money line parlay. Do we think the day is going to end with the Steelers and
Oh
Browns
shit, we have to
tied for
now.
first?
We have to now. That makes too much sense.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Steelers Browns week 1 money line parlay. We're going to get the boost. Don't bet it yet. We'll tell everybody what it is. We'll get the Bet365 boost. Reminder, the Favorites Podcast is proudly presented by Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook brand. Sign up with promo code ACTION to get Bet365's exclusive sign-up offer. Bet $1 on any game and get $200 in bonus bets. Must be 21 or older. Offer is available in Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, and Virginia. Gambling problem? Call or text gambler. Let me recap for people, though. Week 1, we love the Steelers +3. We love the Cardinals +6. We love the Rams +6. We love the Patriots +5. We love the Vikes -6.5 against the Bucks. And we love the Browns +2.5 against the Bengals. We will get a boost for a Steelers Browns money line parlay. Dude, it was so fun to talk football again. I cannot tell you.
No, I can't wait. And people keep asking about the shows, Chad. Did we tell them last week that we're doing 3 shows a week during the season?
I don't think we have, but we're doing a live Sunday show, Sunday night after the afternoon games, before Sunday Night Football. Quick breakdown, recap of how our day went, what we will like in Sunday night. Any lines that are out, we'll start to sort of get an early lean on. We will do our regular Tuesday show where we start to break things down, and then we'll do our pointing towards like what games we might like, and then we'll do our Thursday show.
So you hear that, people? We miss you guys too. But 1 show right now a week, and then we dive into 3 during the season. So don't worry, you're gonna have a lot of me and Chad come football season.
Oh my God, so much. You're not going to believe it. This has been the Favorites Podcast, part of the Action Network, for Simon Hunter, for Matt Mitchell, for Charlie DeSturco, managing our YouTube broadcast. I am Chad Millman. Download us from Apple Podcasts, from Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Rate, review, subscribe, leave us 5 stars, say whatever you want. Feedback is a gift. Until next time, love you.